yeah, I'll start with the shout out to the community again, which was a pretty exciting month this month, I think. It's really getting more substantive putting together these slides now, which is awesome. So first, some first-time posts, just to highlight a few. For example, there was Stephen who read one of our RFCs about doing research while building a stable platform and posted some thoughts and feedback and questions on that. And then there was Spencer who posted kind of a pre-RFC request, so kind of a basic outline of an idea and running it by us to see if it makes sense. Just an interesting idea around a learning module with some different phases. And then also Anna introduced herself in the general introductions channel. And great thing was that with her introduction also kind of asked like, hey, where's the best place I could help out? And suggested 2 things that were on our future work roadmap and whether they are still up to date and what would be most helpful. And I'll have another slide later of kind of where we ended up. And then got several interesting questions. For example, here was a question about how we even define intelligence, how that compares to how intelligence is defined in the ARC challenge paper, which Jeff answered. Yeah, we actually had 2 posts about using Monty for audio processing, which is pretty interesting. Actually, I think today there was another more long-form post about a potential way to convert audio into a spatial representation and train Monty on that. So I think it's an interesting direction. Interesting to see that this is something people are looking into, or applications that would be interesting. And then, yeah, just a small comment on one of our research videos, just kind of referring to an interesting other talk by a neuroscientist about, representation of space. This was on our research meeting on grid cells and path integration. Yeah, mechanisms of representing space. We had a pretty long form post with some questions about reference frames in Monty and how that works, and in the brain as well. And then, just some kind of thoughts on our research meeting posts about, like, for example, this one was on a meeting about modeling object behaviors, and the idea that Adam proposed was actually using the second order derivative instead of velocity acceleration, that might be interesting features to represent as well for object behaviors. And yeah, so it's really cool to see people think about these topics and watching our research meetings and engaging. Here was another question by Adam about a topic we've discussed in our research meetings recently on, like, how do you learn something with one sensor that gets stored in one learning module, then infer with a different sensor? How could that work? And then, yeah, generally also got feedback and suggestions. For instance, feedback on an RFC that Tristan has drafted about the cortical messaging protocol, and generally on design patterns in Monty. And then also a bit of feedback on generally the video formats and chapters, and that sometimes the audio isn't as good. But then also here's Agent Rev put together like an AI summary of the subtitles from our videos. And then, yeah, helping others was also really great to see. For instance, someone posted about installation problems of Monty, and then several people jumped in and tried to help out, figure out how to set up Monty. And then actually, Agent Rev posted a couple of days later a full-blown tutorial on how to set up Monty. I can actually maybe pull that up real quick because it was really nice. Like a full step-by-step way to install it on Windows, using Windows Subsystem for Linux. And yeah, also then replying to kind of follow-up questions. Yeah, here, this literally saved my life after a week of trying to install it with Claude. So thanks a lot, Agent Rev, for writing this. And then we also had several PRs from external people this month. For instance, here, Anna submitted a PR refactoring that changes the getters to properties using the add property. And then here, El Vidal, I think Lucas is his name, saw an old to-do, but a to-do that I added in the code probably like 3 years ago, saying there must be an easier way to do this. And he basically just picked this up and implemented an easier way to do this, which is, it used to be like several nested for loops, and he changed it into a single vector operation. So yeah, just really great to, like, someone just seeing it to do in the code, picking up, fixing it, and submitting a PR. I think it was approved today to be merged and passed all the tests and everything. And then we also have a new contributor on our roadmap, which is Anna, I mentioned earlier. She ended up starting work on this item about combining data load and dataset into environment interface class. So when we first started Monty, we kind of used traditional machine learning conventions from PyTorch or naming, which was data load and dataset, and basically using indexing as if we were working with the dataset. But Monty is a sensor motor system that works in an environment. And so this has been bothering us for a long time, that this is kind of confusing people when they come to Monty, that we are not working with the dataset, yet our classes are called data load and dataset. So this refactor will be really useful for that. And yeah, she's opened a draft PR already. It's in progress right now, and I saw today posted a couple of follow-up questions and updates on how it's going. So thanks a lot, Anna, for working on this. And then we have our first community work group. So Colin had posted towards the beginning of the month a pretty detailed analysis of whether it's worth it accelerating learning modules using GPU operations on CUDA, and implemented several of the main operations in CUDA, compared how they kind of speed up compared to CPUs with different batch sizes and so on. And it looks like there can be significant speed ups. So we had a bit of back and forth on the exact results and whether we want to parallelize within learning module or also across learning modules. And then Tristan ended up creating a second topic, going into more details of how this can be now turned into first a prototype, and then kind of a community maintained repository for the GPU backend for Monty, a lot of detailed plans, and back and forth. And he also shared this really well organized code repository for it. And here is the first video recording of a meeting of Tristan and Colin talking about all this, which will be hopefully our very first kind of community edition video of a work group with someone from the community working on an important feature with the Thousand Brains project. So this is really exciting, and really happy to have Colin contribute to this in such a great way. Then there have also been several people sharing Thousand Brains project, posting about it all hinges on Thousand Brains project. If they can't find the way, no one can. Someone else posts something, and then someone commented on like Monty scoring similar wins. Recent example sharing the ultrasound demo. And yeah, Greg posted 2 more really nice blog posts that mention the Thousand Brains project. One about catastrophic forgetting and one about reference frames and using them for navigation and then learning in general. And here mentioning Thousand Brains project as one of the promising bio-inspired machine learning approaches. So yeah, thanks a lot to everyone who shares and likes the project or comments about it and mentions it. And lastly, this was a couple of days ago. I think it doesn't look as balanced anymore, but we reached the 400 stars and at the same time also 200 forks, which is a great 50% ratio. And so yeah, thanks to everyone who's starred or forked our repository. Super exciting. And yeah, I'm really curious to see what people are actually doing with the code when they fork it. So if anyone's watching this and wants to share on our Discourse forum, please do.